We are back with Lauren and Sean from Hands Off Gretel. I say welcome back as we spoke to you guys in July 2019. How you doing, guys? How you holding up?
Well,
yeah,
as good as possible.
Possibly delusional, but that's never a bad thing.
We've probably gone nuts.
Obviously, no Sam and Becky. You managing to keep in contact with those guys? It must feel really apart from that.
I think Becky's got a lot going on at the minute with her band Fury, so she's keeping herself busy. And then Sam, well, Sam's disappearing into his bed, I think.
Playing the little Xbox and making some really obscure Instagram.
Oh my god, his videos!
The videos are amazing. I've absolutely. This is the best thing where he's like, "Oh, tours are cancelled," but then Sam's even in those videos, and it's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
We pretty much went into lockdown when you guys were like a quarter of the way through the tour. That must have been devastating with all the sort of prep and planning that had gone into that, for that to just be snatched away from you like that.
Mm-hmm. I think we were on day 3.
There were inklings throughout though. When we did the dates in Ireland, even then there were whisperings of it everywhere, and this fear that like it was around. It was already a thing in people's minds. And then the Havana support dates was the same. There was always that awareness. Like, that was the first start of, oh, there's like 700 people here, which is normally, yes, then that was when it started to go, gotta hold my breath, gonna get a drink.
Yeah.
Like, it would start to feel that creep in. I think every band, like, the call was made for the venture, but I think every band that made the call early probably made a good move. Like, the severity of this, definitely. Yeah.
And obviously, something that's really unusual for you guys, I don't think I've ever sort of had an experience of you guys doing it, is you had to pull a few dates anyway, because obviously, Lauren, you caught not COVID necessarily, but you really ill, weren't you?
I mean, I'm usually really good at screaming, but let's see how it goes. This is going look. You wanna treat me like an animal? You wanna eat me like an animal?
It was scary because I think if it had happened now, after we'd had all the information about the virus, I'd probably have thought, oh my god, I've got the virus. But then I was just thinking, oh, my throat's kind of hurting, and then I don't think I had it, although we never knew. I never got tested to see if I did, but I was dreadful. I was in bed when I thought
your fever was on.
My fever was bad, and I just felt like dreadful that day. Like, after when we went back to the hotel after the Elvana gig, and like that morning I woke up and you'd all gone to the van, didn't you? And I was still laid in bed, and I was like, I'm dead. I can't do the dates. and like I panicked then. I thought, oh god, with the virus on the bloody radio, like everywhere we went, hearing about that, I was like, oh no. But I recovered quite quickly, like a week, and I was fine. But having to cancel gigs is awful, but we had to do it.
Yeah, and then it got taken out of your hands for the rest of the tour anyway. Are you hopeful of being able to get things back on the road in the latter part of the year? I've seen obviously the dates are rescheduled, but obviously it's still barely up in the air.
It's up in the air. Like, obviously there's a plan to do that, and we'd like to be able to, but we've just got no idea, do we? Yeah,
I'd love to get it back on the road September, October, November, into December, those kind of dates. But with predictions the way they are, I mean, they are just predictions and projections. We don't know how everything is going to go. If there's still a chance that people could suffer for it, I'd rather not, because, like, even a month, 2 months ago, the idea of selling out a room was like, yes. Now the idea of playing to a sold out room is like, what if someone... Yeah. So until we have some kind of either a vaccine or just, I don't know, it just decides to get bored and leave the planet, like, I wouldn't risk it myself. I wouldn't be up for it.
Yeah. What is it, Sean? So you guys kind of in a plan for the worst, hope for the best scenario really at the moment, yeah?
Essentially, yeah. Like, I want these dates to happen. But if, like, the advice is that this is still around, this is still a problem. It would kill me to play a gig, be, oh, it's so good, I'm so glad we're back in the road, and then find out that 5, 6, 50, 60 people who are in that room are sick and some die.
In some odd respects, is it nice to get a breather?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had like a lot of things I wanted to do, and like different projects. I wanted to do a lot with my art recently, and like when you're touring, you kind of think, we've got this gig, and then I've got a break. But then realistically, every time I've got a break, it's like I'm doing posters, I'm doing promotion, I'm doing everything to promote the tour. So this kind of like everything's stopping just makes you think like, oh, like, I've got all this time now to kind of like anything I want to try and start my painting again, and I'm doing like a little comic. And like things I've wanted to do for a while, I can do now, which is good.
So you guys have found some pretty creative ways of keeping the fan base involved as well. Obviously, there's been the fan art competition, there's fan singings and covers competition. The response to that has been not only phenomenal, but the standard's been ridiculous.
I know. Oh my God, it's been like originally I said we'll pick like the winner, but I just couldn't do it. I hate competitions. Why did I do this? Like, competitions are dreadful. I can't judge this art and pick a winner. And like the singing competition, that was even harder because you're looking at people's faces like, oh my God, they're so cute. I don't want them to lose. And we just left it to the fans to vote for the singing competition, didn't we?
Yeah, the guilt would have killed me.
No, I could not pick.
And say the way that the fans have taken to it, and obviously you guys are really keen on keeping people engaged as well. Any other ideas in the pipeline for how long this might continue that you might be throwing out there to people?
Not competitions.
Competition. Anything but
no. I'm just right now. I'm making a book that we're doing for charity. So that's like a little piece of hair. It's like a little book with all the artwork that all the people sent for the art competition. So I'm putting that together, and we said we're going to donate the profits to an anti-bullying charity. So
cool.
I'm trying to finish that today and then get them printed. So,
okay. Now going back sometimes. So we first spoke back in July last year, as when you guys played the Louisiana in Bristol. It's fair to say since July last year, you guys have had a hell of a roller coaster. There have been some like highs up here, and there have been some pretty sort of down, crappy lows as well. I think a massive high might well be that a certain someone sat not too far away from you at the moment popped a fairly big question. That's got to be right in the top.
He did.
Was that a surprise, or was that always in the offing?
Yes, it was bad because I kept saying, he said, I've got a present for you. So it was Christmas and he's there. I've got a present for you. And I said, well, go on then, get it, man. And he went, oh, I don't want to give it yet. So all day I'm going, what is it? What is it? And he's like, no, not yet. And I'm like, for God's sake, what is it? And then I'm guessing. So I'm like, is it socks? Is it makeup? Is it this? And then I said, it's a wedding ring. You're going to marry me. And then he's looking at me like, like, oh, for God's sake. And then he got down on one knee in my bedroom, and I was like, oh my god, he's doing it. And I just thought, he threw me off, just like, because I'd said it and I was like, you're gonna marry me, and then I ruined it, didn't I? I just ruined it. I was like, why did I say that?
Fucking sleuth work.
Yeah. And
but it doesn't matter because you got the answer you wanted, Sean. Yes.
Still shocked about that. I mean, to be fair, she said yes, and then we played with a tribute band to Nirvana, which had Elvis as a front person. That's quite surreal. And then over time, we've had this, like an unprecedented pandemic. I could, to be fair, be dreaming from that point to now. That makes more sense.
Yeah, maybe you caught Lauren's virus and you're actually in bed with a high-grade fever, and you have been for like weeks. You just don't know. This is all just a blurry dream.
See, this is actually more plausible than everything in the world at the minute. So.
And another high personally for you, Lauren, was obviously you've got a lot of projects on the go, but the release of your own your solo album, Song for Sad Girls, the reception that got, one must have blown you away. But knowing from bits and pieces that you put out, what might have blown you more away was the engagement that forged with your sort of female fans, both of Hands Off Gretel and for you personally, some of the sort of messages that you got and the way that album seemed to touch people must have just really knocked you for six.
Oh, definitely, because I did that album and I produced it myself. So when I was writing it, I didn't really have much of a plan because I was busy with the band, and then I knew I wanted to release it somehow, and I thought I'll just kind of put it out there, not really make a big deal about it. And then it were like getting reviews written up about it. Like my mum was like, Lauren, have you read these reviews? And like, I don't know, when you do a project with a band, it's like a shared moment, so it's like you feel a bit more confident in releasing it. But then when I was releasing it just as me, I was like, oh god, I have no idea what people are going to think. I was scared, thinking it weren't good enough and stuff. And then just the messages were so personal, especially which song now, He Loves Me. So I've written He Loves Me, and people writing to me like, I've been in domestic like abuse relationships, and like this song is everything I ever felt, and you've written about that. And just amazing.
Another high was obviously getting a huge double page feature in Kerrang magazine. I say high, but obviously that came from not a low, but that came from a fairly sort of not great place, which was off the back of the gig that you guys played in London. And that's kind of seemed to spark a period of where we're up to now with the band and with yourself in general. About you guys sort of flying the flag for women and girls getting treated correctly while they're at gigs. So both performers and both people watching in the audience as well. Do you find it strange that the band have unwittingly sort of become, as an artist and as a band, you're at the forefront of some of these real high social issues at the moment, such as, you say, mental health, abuse, domestic abuse, veganism. You've kind of fallen into this sort of the forefront of it kind of accidentally.
Yeah, it's weird because it's always been in my music, but it's like I've always kind of thought these things and I've never really like addressed them in this way. So I've kind of made it very in your face, like everything I think I've been able to write about. And when I first wrote about the whole girls at gigs, protecting girls at gigs, ensuring that people aren't getting harassed, because for me, like I never thought in a Hands Off Gretel gig there'd be young girls coming and young girls leaving saying they're never going to go to a gig ever again because of what's happened to them. And a few people started messaging me saying that they'd been at a gig and stuff's happened to them in the crowd, like they've been groped or there've been creepy guys there and like they've said things to these girls, and then they'd been like, I love your band, but I just don't think I want to go to a gig again because of what's happened. And then like I'd write songs about it, and then these songs, I'd be singing these songs, and then things like this would be happening while I'm on stage singing about it. So then when I actually spoke out about it, just seeing the backlash was weird. Like seeing my own fans, like men, a lot of guys got it and they understood and they were like, yeah, definitely we'll look out for girls when we're at gigs. But then a lot of other guys were just like, what do you expect? The way you dress, what do you expect? Like if you dress in little shorts and you dress in little crop tops and stuff, you're going to be sexualized and men are going to want to kiss you and do all these things to you. And same goes for your fans. Like, what do people expect dressing the way they dress? And it would just like, as if people say this, like what?
Mindset in 2020, isn't it? It's just almost like, are you for real? Am I hearing you correctly?
Yeah.
Especially when you see some of these people, you know, they've got sisters, they've got wives, they've got daughters themselves, and you're like, oh, come on.
Yeah. And I think like that kind of backlash, realizing that there were so many people who followed us that then were arguing with me like, oh, you know, now you've spoke out about women's safety at gigs, you've made me feel like a victim because I'm a man, and now you spoke about these issues, I don't feel welcome at your gigs anymore because like I feel like you're calling me a creep. And I'm right in there, I'm like sat up like, no, I don't mean you, like we should work together to target this. It's not about blaming people, it's about like realizing that these things are happening in the darkness of our crowds, like, and people don't know.
Are you quite proud though that you guys are seen as figureheads for sort of mental health and bullying and sexual abuse, or those, or do you accept it with kind of a reluctance?
I think it's probably the most important part of my band right now.
Okay.
Yeah, because before it's weird. It's like you're always searching for meaning when you're doing music, and I think for a long time I was kind of searching for acceptance from the wrong things and the wrong people. Like I will put my music out there in the hope that, like, I don't know, like magazines were gonna like it, and like big names were gonna pick up on us, and like aiming for them kind of, I don't know, like trying to get appreciation from people that just in the end of the day they get thousands of bands trying to do the same. And like I've tried to push my music that way, so I've tried to impress radio or impress press and stuff. And just by kind of doing this and focusing on what I believe in, and having like an actual message, I realized that like music is so much more important than people liking a song. It's about like impacting, like actually making a difference and actually impacting people's lives, and speaking the truth when other people don't want to speak it. And it's an addictive feeling, because I know a lot of people get wary about it. Like I'm usually the one saying it, and like Sean will see something I've posted and then be reading the comments like, oh God.
Here we go. Yeah. Do you guys worry that with the music industry as it is still, not like it should be like this in 2020, do you guys worry that by being so outspoken that could adversely have an effect on your prospects in the industry? Or are you now at the point where you're like, do you know what, all that matters is that we're staying true to ourselves?
Yeah, I think the more outspoken you are, the kind of less attractive you might be to, say, like a record label. They might look and be like, I don't know. It could work either way. They could think, okay, I really get what they're about, and I love it, I get it. Or then they could be thinking, oh God, these guys are a bit
too hot to touch, or so hot we want them. Yeah. Sean, what's it? As I say, I'm a dad, and if I had to watch my daughter put up with some of the crap that Lauren's had to put up with online over the last year, my blood would be boiling. What's it like for you, like seeing somebody that you know's on the right side of history, trying to do the right thing, trying to raise awareness? It must make your blood boil, sort of seeing some of the crap she's had to put up with.
Absolutely, 100%. Yes. Thing I have with that is like trying to avoid being classic kind of caveman, but you read stuff and you get so angry and you think, I want to find this person, I just want to catch their skull, and you want to do that. You just like, you imagine these confrontations, you also imagine your replies, but I try and think of the whole thing of don't feed the trolls, because these people who put this down, they ride it, they don't give a shit about your argument, they're waiting for you to finish, delighted they've got attention and want to write something back. So I look at these people who from the comfort of a computer will not even argue with Lauren, argue with their idea of what they think she's saying, because they take it as an attack, which it isn't, unless these men are the men who've been going to keep dragging people. It's like, where are they coming from? Does this mean anyone who argues?
Only provoke response in you if there was something about your personality that kind of meshed with what you'd said. So I completely agree. You guys do have a history, and you do be able to turn these negatives into a positive force and a positive energy, though. Hence, obviously, the EP, the Angry EP, obviously stems from the rubbish you've had to put up with. Turn that round, make it a creative thing, and put it out there as music. So with the 3 tracks, so we've got She Thinks She's Punk Rock and Roll, Don't Touch, Bigger Than Me. The actual tour was the Don't Touch tour, and they all tackle these issues head on. Does the anger fuel a higher level of performance, and do you seem to be able to channel it and then take that on stage?
Yeah, I think so. When we did the Angry EP, there were like so many songs that I'd recorded for the album originally, so they were supposed to be on I Want the World, and for some reason I just felt like the energy was wrong. I was like, I really love these songs live, but when I put it with I Want the World songs, it's like I just felt these are just the wrong attitude, like for what I would want to express. But then after the stuff happened online, I was like, there is no more perfect time than now to release these angry songs. And yeah, playing them live, I always enjoy the angriest songs live. Like, I always have done. I like the kind of singy songs, but just the angry ones I can feel live because I'm looking at people's eyes and it's just so much easier to get it out.
Yeah, it must be a good way of like venting all the frustration that's been built up while you're not on stage as well with some of the hassle. Now, I mean, I've met you guys obviously for an interview before, all four of the band members. I've got nothing but positives to say because I've always found you ridiculously approachable, down to earth. Do you get tired with having to fight to show people what you know how you really are, because you've constantly got these sort of people from the sidelines chirping in on what Lauren behind the scenes is actually like this, or Sean's like this? Does that get tiring, have to defend yourselves all the time, especially when the majority of people know that you're really good people?
Yeah, I think yes, thank you. I think only I've had it.
Yeah,
in the band, no one else has had it except me. So every bad word I've ever heard about my band has been aimed at me. So like, it's been difficult, and it's just weird because it's like every time I play a gig, I try and talk to all the bands, I talk to the promoter, I talk to everybody because I just think it's good to leave a good impression, and I don't do it for any reason other than like I enjoy talking to people. I don't do it because they like me. But it's just the weirdest feeling to hear something said about you, and just be like, what? I can't let go of that. I feel like I need to stop this falseness. I can't live with it. I think I can deal with people not liking my music, and I can deal with them writing, your crap on my video or whatever. But when it's personal and it's like a personal attack, or someone's told a story about me that's not real, I feel like dealing with that is just the worst bit. It's just awful.
Yeah. What's the expression I love? If a million people believe a foolish thing, it is still a foolish thing.
Yeah.
And like, if you perpetuate something like, oh, Lauren's bitch. And I think about this, and I think back to being a grunge lover when I was younger. Billy Corgan, he's a dickhead. Courtney Love, she's a bitch. I don't actually know them, but I've said these sentences a lot. I've never met them. I've never experienced them day to day in their lives. I just get these angles of, and I feel that that's like a thing there where someone has said something, it's been perpetuated, and it is because I'm around you all the time, and I'm still around you. I haven't dug a hole out the wall and gone.
Even in lockdown, still there.
I might be a masochist in some aspects of my life, but I wouldn't say in this way. So yeah, that's angering.
So steering away from that, because I think things look like they're naturally coming to a head on that sort of thing with the legal action. We won't go. That's something not for this interview. But in lockdown in general, you guys are locked in your bedroom, locked in your house. Is that meant a chance to write new material, or are you always writing anyway?
I'm always writing, just like when I can. So I'm always battling between drawing, writing, social media. It's just like I wake up one day and I think, right, today is the writing day. Tomorrow I'll finish a bit. So I'm like bitting at stuff. I've got I need to design a new t-shirt for Hands Off Gretel, and then I need to do this. And then we were saying we're going to do an acoustic album. So a Hands Off Gretel acoustic album, and the Songs for Sad Girls solo acoustic album as well. Something that we're working on now. So I'm just like every day, I wake up with a list. So
I know that feeling. Very well.
Yeah, it's good.
Can you guys record at home then? Have you got the ability to record?
Yeah. So I think it were, how long ago? Like 4 years? Maybe, yeah. 3 or 4 years ago. We were paying loads for practice studios to practice with the band. And we went to look at this studio we were going to hire, to keep us gearing overnight. And it were awful. That one in Sheffield.
Delightful.
Oh, Christ. It was just dreadful. It was this dark room, and it was so expensive, per month. Oh, Jesus, it's so expensive.
If you want to plug in 2 amps, you're going to have to plug all the lights out. So you'll learn to play in the dark, which is...
Oh, yeah. And it's set, if you plug too many things in, the power will go off. Great. But I'd got a singing room, so half of my garage was converted into a little room that I used to practice singing in. And I were in it, and I were like, Mum, you know, this room, we could actually make it into a band practice room. And it was like a little summery house thing I had in the garden. And then so my dad actually soundproofed the whole thing and did it all out for me. And then we practiced in there, and it was really small, but that we used to practice with the band in there, and it was really small. But then now we don't practice there as a band anymore. So I've turned that into my studio, which is just so good.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Be able to just have an idea, write it down, and then go and then put it into practice straight away without leaving the home is awesome.
Yeah.
What have you guys both missed about being in lockdown? What from the outside world are you missing at the moment?
Other than gigs, I don't leave the house. Like I don't. I think the first time I went out with friends was like a week before the lockdown in years, because I just don't go anywhere. What about you?
I don't know, really.
You're the same.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same.
We literally live in my room, or we play gigs.
I commute to work and back. I think I can't say I miss a commute to work and back.
Yeah.
I think I miss the cinema. I enjoy going to the cinema.
Okay, actually, I do miss making absolutely ridiculously stupid purchases that I come to regret. I miss that.
Shopping.
I miss the finest of capitalism.
Finally, guys, if you could now go back, well, we're not too far past this, but if you could go back to 15-year-old Sean and 15-year-old Lauren and offer them some worldly advice, what would you say to them now?
I would definitely tell her to dump her boyfriend. That would be advice number one, because
There's a better one coming along.
Yeah, I was wasting so much time with a boyfriend that were crap. And I tell her to practice more electric guitar, because I was farting about back then. I was like playing it a little bit and then being like, ugh. And I think, I'd say stop going to your boyfriend's house, stop thinking about boys, and just focus on your music.
Me, because I'm a bit of a sci-fi head, I don't know, because somehow I'm terrible at everything, and somehow I'm in the band with you and I've got you. So if I change a single thing to make myself a better person, I probably wouldn't have this, because I'd be a better person. I'd do better people things and probably like not end up here by chance.
We don't want a butterfly effect to kick off.
Go back in time, and if it looked like the timelines are slightly divergent, catch her and put him back in line.
Right, guys, listen, massively appreciate you taking time out to talk to us. All the best for getting things back on the road for September, October. I think you and every other band in the UK, if the lockdown's lifted, we're going to have the best gig time in September, October the world has ever seen. It's going to be crazy. Do you just want to drop your socials as to where people can get hold of, one, your music, and then secondly, your merchandise?
Yeah, so all our merch, we're having some new merch done soon, so maybe in a few weeks we're going to be bringing out a new t-shirt and a new zine, little magazine thing, and a new hoodie as well. So you can get that at handsoffgretel.co.uk. And then music wise, we're on everything. You can buy our music from our website, but then obviously Spotify, iTunes, that kind of thing. Hello, I'm Lauren.
I'm Sean.
And you're watching Bristol Gig Guide.